On the show, Greg, welcome to Darkness Radio.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Happy 25th birthday, Tim.
Thank you, Greg. I'm glad somebody got it right.
Yeah, the 20th anniversary of his 25th birthday, I think, is what he's looking at. We've been doing at our events for quite a while now, where we've set up one of these Psychomantia mirrors. And I'll tell you what, we've gone to some of the most haunted locations, and the most activity people have been in the 15-minute segment. They go down and use this scrying mirror, this special mirror. And I can't even call it special. Listen, we take it off the wall from one room, we go put it down in the basement with a couple of candles. So it's not even like it's got some evil background to it. But people have had profound, including myself, some profound experiences with these mirrors. And now you and Dana, is Dana your wife, your partner, your sister, your cousin? How do we relate this? I get confused by the way it's written up on the internet here, Greg.
She's my wife and adventuring partner.
Okay. I'll accept that answer for 20 points. So right. Your wife and you have been doing this for about 20 years, exploring and checking out all of the strange claims around the world. And, You've been working now with this kind of traveling museum as you're following around with the Nick Groff tour. Is that right?
Yeah. We've started it actually at Scarefest last year, and then we're invited to bring it on the Nick Groff tour. So we've done that, and we'll have it on the Amy Bruni's Strange Escapes here at a few events coming up. So it's kind of become a bigger monster than we expected it to.
Yeah, very cool. And now, what kind of things do you include in this traveling oddity museum?
Well, the whole reason we started doing it was we gave a lecture on how to be abducted by aliens at Scarefest about a year ago, and they offered us a booth, and we don't have anything to sell, so we thought, we've been traveling around collecting weird stuff from weird cases for, 15 years, so let's bring some of our cool stuff out. No reason to keep it locked up at Weird HQ. Let's share it. And so we've got all kinds of stuff. We've got a plank from the actual Amityville Horror House. We've got, what else have we got? We've got a doll that was from a case where a woman believed that her daughter, who had passed away, was attached to the doll, and now when you hold it, some people get the feeling that they're sick. We have, I'm looking around the room here to see.
Now, when you're presenting these things, do you tell the stories? So when they hold it, are they already going in with the preconceived notion that it was a sick little girl that owned this doll and now is supposedly haunting it? Or do you let them
It depends.
Hold the items?
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go back and forth. I mean, it depends. If somebody's a real, if they need a little bit of warming up, because a lot of people sometimes, I think, get the impression that we're selling these things. And we're not. We're just bringing them out to show people. So if somebody's kind of hovering around, not really, wondering what's going on, we'll invite them over. But what we always tell people is we say, listen, before we tell you the story on anything, we want you to pick it up. We want you to touch it. We want you to tell us how this piece makes you feel. Because that's the interesting thing to us, is seeing what they think about the stuff before they've heard the story. But occasionally we'll give them, if they have nothing to say, we'll give them the story because, that's part of it. It's an interactive exhibit, and, we're there to entertain people too. So. Well,
that's cool. But the people that you haven't given the information to up front, how many of them have related the same experiences without any prompting?
Well, I can tell you, for example, the plank from the Amityville Horror House. We used to, right now we have it in a display case for the first edition of the book, so people know what it is. But when we'd first gotten it, we slapped the museum idea together. So we just had it there with a card that we had folded in half and written what it was on it. And unbeknownst to us, that card had fallen over and fallen off the table. And on the same day, this was at Scarefest, the same day we had two different women come over who claimed that they were psychic sensitives. And they walked over and they said, I don't know what this plank is. I see all this other stuff, and some of this stuff is creepy, but there's something about this plank that I don't like. This plank just radiates evil to me. And when we realized that it didn't have the tag on it, we told the first woman, we said, oh, well, here's the thing. And we flipped the tag up and looked at it. She just turned around, spun on her heel, and walked away. And that happened again at a later event on the Nick Groff tour, when another woman came up, and it wasn't clearly marked what it was. And she said the same thing, that she was just getting really bad vibes off of this plank of wood. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty general, but, it's, for all intents and purposes, it's a plank of wood.
Right. You're right, but you're giving them not much. It's a piece of wood, but they're kind of coming down with the same sense of dread or dark feeling from it. Well, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Let's talk about the disturbing case of the dark mirror when we return. Our guest, Greg Newkirk, we've got a link up to his website so you can follow along with the stories and his road tripping and all of the